Hi everybody, Matt Lawton here. This is the Astrological Winds channel. I'm going to take a look at the Astrological Weather report for the week of November 22nd through the 28th. And, just like last week, there's a lot of positive flow of energy, in my opinion anyway, in this week. And it's not a very big week. There's not a lot going on, but there's three things that I wanted to talk about that kind of all blend in together. And if I had a name for this week, I'd be calling it Planning Your Future Week. That would be a really good way to, explain the energy of this week. So the first thing is that Mercury, if you'll remember, the sun went into Sagittarius last week on Sunday, actually yesterday. And at the same time, if you remember, I was talking about last week, Mercury squared Jupiter and also was sextiling Pluto all this past weekend. So there's a continuation of energy, of that energy coming right into this week with Mercury going into Sag, because Jupiter is the planet that rules Sag. So what we're going to do is have more continuation of that energy of the Mercury-Jupiter square when Mercury's in Sag the next 2-3 weeks. We're going to have, now first of all, like traditionally, Mercury is actually in detriment when it's in Sag. So it's like traditionally not a strong sign for Mercury's normal way of functioning, and it has to do mainly with what this planning thing is all about. So Mercury and Jupiter together with that square, and Mercury going into Sag, give us a big vision. We were looking to the future, where we have some, what we can call even maybe grandiose plans that, that we've been getting maybe downloaded into us and have us really excited. So it's a very future-oriented, big vision energy that's coming in right now. And it's saying this is a time to think about your future, think in a very wide breadth, wide vision, tolerant, taking in energy from other sources, outside sources beyond what you would normally be taking them in. So we have all that energy working right now. And here's where the problem with Mercury and Sagittarius can come in, and that is why it's traditionally called in detriment or in a weak spot, is it gets us into the mindset of being so focused on that vision and what it can bring, like the benefits and positive stuff that you see that can bring. It will have a way of making Mercury almost disregarding of the details and the plans and the steps that you need to take to get to there. So there's almost an impatience with having to do the harder, nitty-gritty work. So it's a lot of things like that can be overlooked right now. So when you're having your grandiose vision or plan, it's that's just the framework that you're starting in. And that's what maybe this week is mainly about. But you're going to have to realize that it's not going to be, instantaneous, something that, this broad new vision you have is going to kick in immediately and, become some new energy. It's got to, you're going to have to find a time to start working on more details of it. But this is a week where you can really get that download. And what happens is with Mercury and Sag too, we're going to get a lot more information. We're going to get a lot more input from the outer world. And that's going to expand our horizons. It's going to give us new knowledge, new wisdom, and things that have us, once again, wanting to run out into something bigger. And so it's all about like gaining like secondary knowledge that brings more wisdom. And so yeah, so it's like that. And then, you know, the interest too, the levels of things that people are interested in when Mercury is in Sag kind of runs the gamut of things like, you know, that you know, from other cultures, other sources that are not normal for us. So it like runs the gamut of like expanding knowledge on all kinds of secondary bases. And it's stuff like the law, medicine, philosophy, just anything that you have an interest in that's like beyond a primary education that really gets into some deeper knowledge and wisdom. So really, you know, that's, and it is good, you know, even for making plans for like business expansions, you know, education expansions, things like that. But it's that planning phase it's in right now. And if we don't roll up our sleeves and take care of the details in the future, most of these grand plans we have will remain just that, a vision. And so like the hard work is going to have to be done too. And so the other two things I wanted to talk about, if you remember, all year long I've been talking at times about, you know, we had the Saturn Uranus square all year going as our main background aspect. But if you remember, I also talked about how Saturn was in a very nice sextile to Chiron all this year. Now, you remember last year when Chiron went into Aries, I said that like it's going to be a period of 7-8 years where our healing and repairing the things that hurt us, whatever they may be, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, all that kind of healing is going to be something that with Chiron and Aries, we have to be self-responsible for. Like we can't have other people doing it for us, that we have to proverbially take the ram by the horns and, you know, work that into our lives itself. So this sextile to Saturn all this year really should have been able to help you do that. It like brought like Saturn in Aquarius probably brought like all kinds of new interesting ideas to you in the sense of like things that you can inject into the structure of your life and improve a lot of the systems in your life that will improve like your health on all kinds of levels. And, you know, if you have any kind of wounds or pain or illnesses, things like that, you know, this was a year where I really think you know, the information that we had the opportunities to, you know, latch onto, stuff that came to us this year could really help us in our drive as Chiron and Aries to work on the things that are bringing us pain, to find relief to them. And that, you know, the things that, so this year was really an opportunity, you know, it's a yang sextile. So that means, you know, when opportunities come, these are ones that you have to like really, you know, you have to get up off the couch and take them. So like, you know, so it's like, you know, this was really, you know, if you reflect back on this year and all the things we've been through as a culture, it's like, you know, everybody's been affected by those things. And it's probably given all of us a different way of looking at things. And that is where those opportunities probably laid, inside those ways of looking at things differently and saying, oh, you know, I can bring this into the structure of my life and improve it. And it's going to just make my life healthier and feel better. So, you know, this has been going on all year. And hopefully, you know, the final exact hit is this week on Friday. So hopefully, you know, this will be like a very concentrated energy right now to do that again. You know, and I think a lot of it probably ties back into what I was just talking about with the Mercury, Jupiter, and even all the Sag energy kicking in now, giving us some broader vision. There must be some stuff when we're peaking at an apex part of an aspect. This is its third hit. A lot of times those are the times when there's a lot of stuff coming in, energy coming in, or events coming in that are really, acute to that energy. So look for those last, whatever these last downloads and things you're getting about these broader visions probably fit in to your self-healing too. And so the last thing I want to mention, and this all ties in too, on Sunday, the sun conjuncts Mercury. And you'll remember back when it was retrograde, back in October, we had the inferior conjunction. So this is the superior conjunction where, they're not retrograde. And this is just perfect for like the springboard of those visions and, getting them going, because the Sun Mercury is like, it's new beginnings energy. It's like, and it's very subjective. So it's coming from you. It's like your life experience is very like acute and very involved in what's going on. So like, it's very subjective because it's like those ideas that have been coming in are really at the forefront of your mind. So on Sunday, it's a great time to step it up and, start getting your message out, getting your voice heard, using media, using, different forms of communication, different ways of getting your energy spread out there and what you're feeling and, what you're wanting to, in that vision, what you're trying to achieve. So an excellent time. Now, the thing is, when Sun and Mercury are together like that, we are not in the most mentally receptive minds. We're so like wrapped up in that idea of our own that a lot of times we're not the best listeners for other people's stuff. So it can be, I don't want to call it selfish energy. I like to call it more subjective energy, because we're really streamlined on what our interest is right now. So that doesn't make us the best listeners necessarily at times, but if we can get to people that are on that same plane and interest in the projects and things we're doing, if that's all similar, then it's a great time, to join together and get like the plans rolling. It's the time to take the broader vision of that Sagittarius energy and start working on the details. If you really want it to manifest in the real world and not just be living in like, well, this is my vision and, not much has been done about it because I haven't taken care of the little steps I need to take and in the details. So a very interesting week. There's not a lot of hard energy. For the second week in a row, really, I think it's been a little bit moving towards a more like ability for us to adjust and change to the times and stuff. And, it's like definitely, 2 or 3 very difficult months before that, really 2 or 3 very difficult years. And this is a time that maybe, the things that are being inputted into us that are really sparking something that's bigger that we want to bring in can really end up being a healing balm to our own life. So, like I said, get the vision down, but remember that you have to do all the details too. All right, that's all I got for this week. It's, like I said, a shorter week, a little shorter of a blog. This is the Astrological Winds channel. This is Matt Lawton, and it's on YouTube every week. Get a YouTube account, it's free. Become a follower, and then turn on your notifications, and you'll get the notification every time. This is a free service, so the best thing you guys can do for me is to pass on the link to anyone who might be interested in it. And it's not only YouTube, it's on all kinds of podcasts. You know, not much really going on the video. I'm talking to the camera this week. Sometimes the chart's there. So really, it's the audio part that's important. So go onto your favorite podcast and, you know, just look up the Astrological Winds channel. You should be able to find it. It's on 15 to 20 podcasts out there. I'm available for all kinds of readings. Been doing readings for 20 years. Natal reading, your birth chart, so you know the energy that's working in the background of your life. Predictive readings, which is your personal weather report for the next year, just like this blog, but it's just for you. Relationship charts, children's charts, elections for the best timing of an event that you might want to have going, like maybe your broad vision, you know, is maybe starting some business or something. You want to get it at, you know, the most favorable time. That's what we use elections for, to start a business, something like that. And then, you know, horary questions, if you have a burning yes or no or question that you just can't seem to get an answer to. Astrocartography, relocation, thinking about moving, and there's classes available. I'm available for events and lectures too. So all that stuff, you need to get me. Best way is through email, and that is mattthue823@gmail.com. One more time, mattthue823@gmail.com. And also, the blog is also, I put the link to my blog on my Facebook page and Astrological Winds channel on Instagram. You can become a follower there, and it's posted there every week too. And at Facebook, you have to ask for a friend request. It's Matthew Lauten, Lauten. And also, anyone who'd like to give a donation, I know people once in a while will give a donation. You can get me in Venmo or Zelle, and it's at Matthew-Lauten. Yeah, so thanks so much again for tuning in. Appreciate everybody's positive reactions and you know, just great slow expansion for me. And maybe, like, you know, that's what you guys can do, your vision. Get it out there and watch it start to expand. All right, next week we will not only do the weekly, I'll do the monthly for December too. It's going to be just the last 2 days of November and then the first 5 days of December for the week. So I'll do monthly December and next week's blog too. So look forward to that. And you all have a great week. Have a happy Thanksgiving if you're in the United States. And I'll see you next week.